The JDM glaze starts now. All right. I am so sick of the disrespect on Jack Della Maddalena. Since the Basil Hafez fight in July 2023, the hate train for JDM has been one of the most unbearable things I've seen in the MMA fan base. Since this fight, man, before this fight, when he got Pete Rodriguez, Ramazan Habib, Danny Roberts, Randy Brown all out of there in the first round, he had a massive hype train. Everybody was sucking on JDM back then. Then after the Basil Hafez fight, everybody just went, "Oh, he's bad." The narrative switch up was insane. One of the most crazy switch ups I've ever seen, but it speaks to how fickle the MMA fan base is. But after this Basil Hafez fight, the narrative switch was insane. So after that fight, the disrespect on JDM was, oh, he can't grapple. You've never beat a wrestler. You never beat a wrestler. You couldn't even knock out Basil Hafez. People are like, oh, Basil Hafez won that fight. No, he didn't. Anybody who watches MMA clearly knows JDM brutally beat him up to an inch of his life. Third round, 10-8. Should have been a 10-8. Second round, clearly JDM's. He's beating the shit out of him. First round, yeah, you can give it to Basil Hafez, but the fact that this fight here is still controlling the narrative after JDM beat Belal Muhammad, are you fucking kidding me? JDM beat Belal Muhammad, who's 24-3 at the time, who beat Leon Edwards, beat Gilbert Burns, beat Sean Brady, beat all of these high-level guys in the welterweight division. Until this day, people are still mentioning this Basil Hafez fight. Even going into the Kevin Holland fight, this is how stupid MMA fans are. They were like, oh, if Kevin Holland wrestles, he wins this fight. So did you guys not watch Kevin Holland? Kevin Holland is the one who's always getting wrestled around. And because JDM had pretty bad fight IQ against Hafez throwing up guillotine, there were people who were saying, Kevin Holland, just go wrestle him. He'll fuck him up easy. And then the Gilbert Burns fight. I want to mention that this is the whole reason why I made this video, to be honest with you guys. I stayed up last night. Well, I didn't stay up, went to bed early. Sleep is key, guys. If you're ever dealing with bad mental health, go to sleep early. But regardless, I watched this fight yesterday. Why is there a narrative that Gilbert Burns was up 2-0? I rewatching the fight in the second round, after the first round, all of the live tweets were 10-9 JDM, 10-9 JDM, 10-9 JDM. One of them was 10-9 JDM. Gilbert Burns, a little too late to take that round at the end with some of the wrestling. Why is everyone acting like Gilbert Burns was going in there and 10-7ing JDM every round? JDM won the first round. Second round, you can give it to Burns because he did have the big elbow. He landed the cleaner shot, heavier shots. But even then, JDM outstruck him. The third round, and this is generally a narrative I've seen thrown out there by people, just delusional JDM haters. I've seen somebody saying, well, Burns was winning the third round before JDM knocked him out. No, he wasn't. You guys don't realize, to win rounds in MMA, you need to land damage. Gilbert Burns, and this is a real stat, this is generally a real stat, Gilbert Burns landed 0, circular, 0, like an O. Guys can see that, right? Like an O. 0 strikes in the third round. He didn't land a single strike. And JDM, even before he got taken down, he did land a big combo that hurt Gilbert Burns, clearly. Do people watch JDM fights as background noise or something? Do you guys just not look at the screen when the fights are fucking happening? I feel like I'm going insane every time I see these narratives for JDM fights. JDM just doesn't get any respect at all. He can go in there and he can knock out Islam Makhachev in one round this weekend, and the narrative will be, fluke. It'll be early stoppage. Islam Makhachev could be convulsing on the ground, out cold, in front of his friends and family in New York City, in front of Mayor-elect Mandami. And they would still be like, that was an early stoppage. Islam Makhachev could get stretched out of the fucking arena and they'd be like, that was an early stoppage, I don't know what JDM has to do to get respect from the MMA fan base. It feels a lot like Volk when he beat Max Holloway, and then he had the rematch, which was a very competitive fight, which some people thought that Max Holloway won. Volk got no respect. Everybody hated him for a period of time. And this is how it feels like with JDM. Is this just an Aussie thing? Internationally, do all combat sports fans just dislike Aussies to this delusional point where that they just have to hate on him to this point. Like, it's insane. The narrative I keep seeing about this fight is crazy. And you know what annoys me the most? Is when JDM had that crazy fight with Belal Muhammad that he arguably won 49-46. Arguably could have won 50-45. I rewatched this fight last night too. There is, like, the whole comment section for JDM versus Belal Muhammad is literally all just... Never imagined a Belal fight could be nose of the year. Really underfighted fight. People don't give enough respect to Belal striking. There is some nice comments now, but Belal sacrificed belt to not be boring. No, he didn't. He couldn't get his game plan off. And he's always been a wrestle boxer. Got to respect Belal for how well he did this fight in the striking. He was one of the cleanest boxers in the UFC. Okay, that's more respectable. I feel like the comments are a lot nicer. At one point, I feel like maybe it's because there was somebody put a post up, but at one point there was a lot of comments that were all just like giving Belal all the hype in the world. And the thing, I also hate the narrative about the Belal Muhammad fight is that Belal Muhammad only lost because he tried to go in there and outstrike JDM. He didn't try to go in there and outstrike JDM. JDM, and like I said, the JDM goal he started in the beginning, he made him not able to take him down. Even on the feet pillow, why didn't he shoot so many takedowns? He shot almost the exact same amount of takedowns that he did against Leon Edwards. But you know what's also different? Is JDM isn't being pressured against the fucking fence the whole time like Leon Edwards is, who then makes it easier for him to get taken down. Do you guys not realize that if you're feinting uppercuts and knees, that smart people are not going to go, I'm going to shoot a takedown, I'm going to get fucking uppercuts, I'm going to get kneed in the head. Do you guys not realize? Sorry, I should probably be holding this. I don't know if this is all coming through. But like, do MMA fans, literally, like I said, do MMA fans just watch JDM fights as background noise and they're like looking at the wall like, duh, I hear a commentary saying JDM got taken down. That's 10-8 to his opponent. Like, I don't get it. Why does if JDM gets a takedown, why is it immediately he fucking loses the round automatically? Like, what the fuck? Damages the scoring criteria. Another thing that annoys me is the judges. Why do the judges keep scoring against him when he clearly wins all these rounds? The only fights in the UFC that I generally think he lost rounds in was the first round against Hafez. I thought he clean sweeped Kevin Holland 30-27. I thought he probably lost the second round against Burns, but you can argue it to him. But I'll say, just, for argument's sake, we give him the second round. And against Belal, he could have won that 5-0. So arguably, he could have lost only 2 rounds in the UFC. But we have a point where he has 2 split decisions. He had to come back and get a comeback victory on the scorecard. But like, we all know that it was not a comeback if the judges could actually competently score JDM fights. I don't know. Who did JDM piss off in the athletic commission for these judges to be borderline robbing him every fight? Against Belal Muhammad, he put on a generational fucking performance. And he still was down. Not down, but he was tied on the scorecards going into the 5th round. Are you kidding me? What does he have to do for the judges to be like, oh, you know what, I'm noticing he's not actually getting hit clean when his guard's up like that. They're just jabbing at the guard while he's actually landing flush shots to the body and to the head. Do they just not count body shots and leg kicks? I don't get it. What is it that in JDM's game? Is it because he's so defensively sound with his high guard and because he's technically getting hit on the high guard? Oh, that's a good significant strike to his elbow. I just don't get it. The narrative. He's the most disrespected champion in UFC history. I generally believe that. Because I've seen people saying he's the worst champion in UFC history. And the thing that annoys me is he's literally getting the toughest first title defense of all time. He's getting a generational talent in Islam Makhachev. The pound-for-pound number 1 in the world. The greatest lightweight of all time. And one of the greatest lightweights of all time, in my opinion. Arguably probably is. Obviously, he's got a few iffy title defenses. Moicano's not really the best. Dustin, did he really deserve the title shot? But he is a generational talent. Is Islam Makhachev? He's 27-1. That's an insane record. Insane record. And people, if JDM, say, God forbid he loses, everyone's going to go, oh, he was overrated. Fraud check, as MMA fans do. Yeah, bro, the champion got fraud checked by the fucking 27-1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. I don't think, MMA fans they fluster me with how stupid they can be sometimes. This is why JDM really needs to beat Islam Makhachev, because he will still not get respect. If he goes in there and beats Islam Makhachev by 50-45, there'll be somebody say, oh, Islam, he's a lightweight. He's just a lightweight. That's why he lost. He's just a lightweight. He's not. Size difference. Like, even though they look almost identical, I think JDM's maybe like probably, he's a bit taller. Maybe he weighs a little bit more, but not much. This is just probably like at most probably like a 5 pound difference, if that. Who knows? Maybe he is. We haven't seen. Well, like we did see that face off they had, but obviously, Islam Makhachev was wearing the puffy jacket, so it makes it a bit different. But like, let's also look at JDM's like regional career. Like, he's never lost. Sorry, not lost. He's never beaten anybody with a losing record. Every single person he fought had a winning record. 1-0 Brant Cogill, Glenn Pettigrew 3-1. Ty Duncan 3-0. James Duckett 3-1. Luke Howard 4-2. Dean Abramo 4-0. Kevin Doucette, who ended up in the UFC, 2-0 when they fought. Glenn Pettigrew 7-2. Alden Bates 6-2. Avenged one of his only losses. His only loss at welterweight was against Alden Bates. The Darcy Vendy fight was at middleweight. Ange Lusa 7-1 winning record. P. Rodriguez 4-0. Layup when you think about it. Short notice replacement though. He was meant to fight Wally Alves. Ramadan Ameev 20-5. Got robbed by Danny Roberts. And then speaking of, JDM beat Danny Roberts 18-6. Not the best win in the world, but these are all guys with winning records. Randy Brown, Basil Fez, Kevin Holland, Gilbert Burns, Belal Muhammad. All of these guys have winning records. It's insane. Every single person he's beat has a winning record. He's never taken an easy fight in his life. Obviously, you can say Pete Rodriguez, but like I said, short notice. He's never intentionally gone in there with an easy fight. Even Danny Roberts was a short notice fight. And I've seen a few people picking Danny Roberts. All right, most people pick JDM, but still. Like, the narrative is just insane. Any fighter he shoots a takedown, he beats JDM easy. Like, I don't think people realize that the get-ups are a much more important part of the game than takedown defense. Takedown defense is actually really overrated. And people are going to say, well, what a fucking stupid take. But it is. I would rather somebody who can get taken down 20 times and get back to their feet 20 times than someone who can stuff 20 takedowns, but once they get taken down that 21st attempt and they get taken to the ground, they're just a fish out of water there and then they're useless on the ground. JDM's very defensively sound with his grappling on the ground. He gets back up, which is important, and he doesn't. His initial takedown defense isn't as bad as people make it out to be. They make it out like he has Carlos Condit takedown defense, which is just gets taken down every shot. Against Belal Muhammad, he actually stuffed a lot of takedowns. And Belal Muhammad is actually really good too. Like, this just goes into the disrespect thing. Belal Muhammad was on 12 fight winning streak when he fought JDM. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, then the no contest. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, a 10 fight winning streak against good levels of comp. Luque, Thompson, Maya, Brady. Brady is a very, very good win. Aged very well. Gilbert Burns. Leon Edwards. Just the disrespect is insane. It's actually insane to me. And even then, before he lost to Jeff Neal, beat Randy Brown, Jordan Mine, Tim Means, Chance, Ren Kushar. He's got some really good wins on his record. Even beat Chris Curtis on the regional scene when he was 10-3 and Muhammad was only 5-0. He's got some good level of competition. Belal Muhammad's a very good win. And people say, oh, Gilbert Burns, he's washed. If washed, Burns can do that too. Even though, as we've established, it was 1-1 going into the third. The mindset is just, he had a takedown, he wins the round. But even then, Gilbert Burns, I don't think was washed at that point. Yeah, he lost to Belal Muhammad, but he did his shouldering in that fight. JDM just beat him up, and the stoppage was so late that I think Burns did become a bit gun-shy, a bit washed after that fight. But it was 2 fights before that where he was going in there and destroying Neil Magny, beating Jorge Masvidal, had a war with Hamza Chimaev 2 years before the JDM fight. I don't know, just the mindset. Everyone will discredit every JDM win. JDM could go in there and he could beat Hamza Chimaev, Ilya Topuria. He could beat, I'm not saying he would beat Hamza Chimaev, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying, he could beat all of these guys, and then the mindset would be he hasn't beat Alex Pereira, and he could beat Alex Pereira, and the mindset would be, he hasn't beat Tom Aspinall, he hasn't beat Cyril Gane, he hasn't beat John Jones. I don't know, JDM just has to do a lot more than these other guys to get respect. While you got guys who are can crushing as prospects on the prelims and stuff like that, where you get all this hype, like, damn, he's so good, bro. Like, he's so good. Like, people don't realize the level of comp. JDM's resume isn't like GOAT tier yet, but Belal Muhammad's a good win. Just the disrespect is insane. But if he beats Belal Muhammad and Islam Makhachev back to back, his resume immediately just is goated, absolutely goated. Just I don't know. I just know I need JDM to win because he's not going to get respect. People are going to put out all these, oh, he got fraud checked. Yes, fraud checked by the pound for pound number one. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Like, I don't know. MMA fans just don't know what fraud checking means. That's been long established. Anytime a champion loses, like I've seen people saying after the Cyril Gane Tom Aspinall fight, they were like, oh man, Tom Aspinall, he got fraud checked. Tom Aspinall beat every other person in the division. He didn't even lose to Cyril Gane. He beat Sergey Pavlovich, Curtis Blades. He beat Alexander Volkov. He beat Sergey Spivak. Like, he beat all of the ranked guys in the weight class, and people are still like, oh, but yeah, he's a fraud. You got fraud checked. Like, it just annoys me. But anyway, I just want to talk about it. JDM, most disrespected champion in UFC history. Truly believe that. Truly believe that. Maybe you can say Aljamain Sterling, but I feel like Sterling got his flowers a lot more than JDM did. Like Sterling, I mean, I guess originally, yeah, JDM probably not as bad as the Aljo. As champion, I feel like he's not getting as much like hate, but the disrespect is a lot more, like, because it's been since JDM fought Basil Fez. The Aljo fight was more of a reactionary, was more reactionary because he won the championship by DQ. But like, I feel like a lot of people did give Sterling his credit for just being such a good grappler. But honestly, yeah, JDM is one of the most disrespected champions. Obviously I'm going to put the title as the most disrespected champion. I know there's probably been champions who have been disrespected to the same level, and it's all really about perspective, about what time period. Like, obviously, JDM right now is being very disrespected, but if he beats Islam Makhachev, I'm sure that will change. I mean, I don't have any confidence they'll just say robbery or early stoppage, or like JDM could somehow get Islam Makhachev in a rear naked choke. Islam Makhachev could tap 50 times, like tap, 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 just keep tapping over and over again. And they would still be like, doesn't count. Like, I don't know. JDM just has to do more. JDM's going to have to go like 30. He's going to need to go 30 fights in a row, win 30 fights in a row. And then maybe they'll be like, you know what, JDM, he might be good enough for the pound for pound, to be honest. Like, I don't know. Crazy. Anyway, gone on a bit of a tangent. JDM Glaze ends now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Shout out to M and to Todd, the two members of the channel. Become a member today. You get shouted out at the end of these videos. And I will see you guys next time. UFC 322. I'm so excited for this fight night. I'm so excited for this card. It's going to be an awesome card, man. I'm so keen. I haven't been this excited for so long. I feel like a kid on Christmas. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I had to make this video. I keep seeing TikToks. JDM is the worst champion in the UFC. JDM is the worst champion of all time. Like, what? How? I don't get it. Sorry, I said the JDM glaze ends now, but the JDM glaze begins again before I end this. I know I do this a lot. I go on a bit of a tangent. I go to say I'm going to end the video, but I just had to remember. I've seen so many videos where guys are like saying that JDM's... I've seen people call JDM a can. He's 18-2. How is he a can? That is insane to me. Like, I don't think these guys realize, especially because I see it a lot from, like, Dagestani fan base, like them types of people. Do you realize if JDM goes in there and, like, wins or even makes it remotely competitive, after you call him a can, it just makes your guy look bad, right? You guys do realize that. Like, if JDM goes in there and has, like, an absolute back-and-forth war with Islam Makhachev, that makes your guy look bad because you've just spent the whole time discrediting JDM. That's why I'll never discredit Islam Makhachev, because he is really good. He is the pound-for-pound number one. He is one of the GOATs. I will stand by that. And I think that's what differentiates, rational, smart MMA fans and then these chode guzzlers who just, they don't, like, a lot of these people who are really, like, toxic Islam fans, are not even from Dagestan or any of them regions. They're literally just found some fighter that they can vicariously live through because their country doesn't have any good fighters, and then they get really toxic with it. Well, actual Dagestani fans, I feel like, aren't that bad. You know, a lot of the Caucasus Mountain fan base, fight fans I've talked to have been pretty chill people. Like they're pretty like respectful, compared to like these like toxic South Asian fans. You know, like who vicariously live through the Dagestani fighters. It's just insane. Like you guys talk like they're your fighters. They're not. You know, there's more. Like JDM is more genetically closely related to Islam from because of his because he's got Tuscany roots and he's like a European. Than like anybody from like India or Pakistan would be related to their fighters. I'm just gonna put this out there. Like I don't get why they vicariously live through like Hamza Chimaev, Islam Makhachev, all this like. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me, man. Like at least like people can say I'm an Aussie glazer. I am Aussie though. Like at least I'm glazing fighters from my own country. Like at least I'm vicariously living through my own fighters. You know, at least I'm not going in like vicariously living through like fighters who have no cultural national relation to me. You know, like it's alright to be fan. You don't have to be fans of fighters just because they're the same ethnicity or nationality or religion or whatever. But a lot of these guys just vicariously live through these guys, and they're toxic with it just because they share the same faith. It's insane to me. Generally, very insane to me. You know, like I would respect Dagestani fans who are actually from Dagestan if they're going to be toxic, because at least like I can see why they're hype. You know, they're hyping up their own boys. That makes a lot of sense to me. But it is, you know, it is what it is. Sorry for a little tangent at the end there. I just had to mention that as well because I see some super toxic, like these comments, like so toxic. And you click on their page, and they're like, oh, they're from Mumbai, or they're from Lahore, or they're from Islamabad, or like Dhaka in Bangladesh. Like it's crazy. Like, come on, guys. I'm sure you guys will get your own fighters soon. Like, you don't have to. You don't have to vicariously live for other nations. Like they'll put Russian flags. They will put all of these other flags and stuff like that in their name. It's like insane. Like there's insane dick riding. Like at least I have an Aussie flag in my name on Twitter, but it's because I'm Aussie. You know, like it makes sense. I'm not vicariously living for other nations. But anyway, this turned into JDM disrespect to just fucking slandering the fucking Islam fans. But I like Islam. He's a funny guy. I like the face off. That was cool. But like you know, it's cold. JDM trying not to laugh. I thought that was a pretty wholesome moment. Like people might have this misconception that I don't like Islam Makhachev, but I really do. It's just he seems to fight a lot of guys I like. Obviously, he fought Volk, he beat Volk, which is a really good win, one of the best wins of all time, and to do it twice as well, very impressive. I'll give him his flowers, and there will be a comment. Somebody will comment on this video if they made it all the way. Even if they haven't made it all the way through, somebody will be like, "You're going to smash your boy. He's going to smash your boy." His name will be in like fucking Sanskrit. You know, it'll be some sort of Sanskrit name, probably even Punjabi or a Hindi name or a Urdu name, something along them lines. You know how it is, guys. But I do respect the Dagestani fighters. I do respect Islam Makhachev. Like Islam's a good role model as well, you know. Like, I just want to put it out there. I do respect Dagestani fighters a lot. I'd give them their flowers, but a lot of people just say I pick against all Dagestanis or like Muslim fighters. It's just not the case. I have a big respect for the Muslim community. Like, so I don't know. Anyway, I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot of hate once the Islam fans and Dagestani fans who aren't even from Dagestan or Chechnya or any of them places, they'll find this video, they're going to smash your boy, laughing emojis, they'll say a bunch of stuff like that. But anyway, JDM, very disrespected. JDM Glaze officially ends now. I'm ending the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys next time. Shout out to the two members, Em and Todd, and I'll see you guys next time. Make sure you subscribe, put on notifications. Goodbye. Damn, that's a long video. Goodbye.